I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. After the Velvet Bonnet, I cannot stop thinking on my favorite pink hair waifu that has become completely useless. So today we're gonna be talking a little bit about Dorothy and her fall from grace. How she became more of a useless character to this day. I mean, she's been useless for the last few months, right? But let's talk a little bit about Doro, her kid, how she works, and why she's not a great B1 by today's standards. As usual, before we start, hello degenerates, welcome back to Lodan Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. And of course, we're gonna be talking about this beautiful pink-haired lady right here. Now, the first thing when it comes to Doro is that we did move her on the tier list recently. So for those of you who don't remember or haven't seen it yet, if you go to the B1 tier list, Doro has been moved to a T4, which is kind of low. I think it's the lowest for any cooldown reduction character if you do not count the Milk Treasure. Actually, Sakura has CDR as well, right? I think those two are the only T5 CDR characters I would consider in there. And that is one of the biggest reasons, by the way, as to why she has become such a useless quote-unquote character. Because even at max investment, okay, like gear 555, the level 10 on the skills, a purple doll, even though it's only level 0, phase 0, I didn't level it up because, as you can imagine, no reason to, and a core 4 character. I still have her on my wishlist because I do like Doro. She cannot catch up. Her biggest problem is the cooldown reduction standard has become so high with newer units like Soline, like Rappy and Little Mermaid, that it's impossible for Doro to be able to remain competitive. Even if we talk about, not this one, what it is, NIKKE here. Even if we talk about previous solo raids, when it comes to Water Week, the previous raid was a Water Week raid. And the usage Doro gets, the usage she gets is just not there. If we come here, look at this. 0.3% usage over the top players on the last solo raid, and that's assuming obviously one guy who used it at core 7. Obviously this is the top players, is never the whole representation of the NIKKE player base, right? But still, that's crazy that she's getting less usage than Leona, that Privati is getting more usage than she is. Now, why is this? What's wrong with her kid, and why people have moved into just better V1s, even though her damage is okay, it's not good. We'll talk about damage on a second on Harvester and Union Rage. But the biggest problem with her kid, like I was saying earlier, is the cooldown reduction. So cooldown reduction is on last bullet, and this affects all allies, and it's only 1.56 seconds. Two big things. First of all, last bullet. Nobody gives a fuck about last bullet. This is a mechanic that Day 1, we had some teams between Admi and Privati, using both of them together for the reload speed buffs, and then using something like her or other characters with armor reduction to proc this faster. That was because we didn't have anything else, so we had to get creative, right? Now, second is damage to parts. Like we always say, damage to parts is 100% niche. Okay, not all bosses have parts, and if it's not bosses, it becomes even more useless. Also, this is only during manifestation, which is on her burst skill. Then you also have her second skill. One thing that NIKKE did during the first year of its release, it released skills that were active skills. Nowadays, thanks to God, they don't do this anymore. Active skills are one of the worst things NIKKE has because they are absolutely useless. A normal passive skill that just increases her damage is better than this that only procs once every 20 seconds, right? Every 20 seconds, and this is just doing 200% of final attack as distribute damage. While if you go to something like Summer Anis, she is proccing what, the same damage, if not more, on every last bullet, which by the way, Summer Anis is a last bullet character done properly at least. But that's the second problem. Second skill is useless. And then we go into her burst, which once again, she is changing the cooldown of a skill 2, but only on her burst, which this wouldn't be a problem if she was on a team that can have fast rotations, right? Because you will be able to just rotate consistently and proc this skill 2 more often. But since she is your main cooldown reduction character at only 1.56, is useless because she takes a long ass time to have proper rotations, or you will have to have a second character. She also gains Pierce for 10 seconds, which, you know, back in the day, Pierce wasn't important. Nowadays, most of the meta characters tend to have it. And then she has her brand, which accumulates damage, and it's actually a pretty good modifier. To this day, I'm pretty sure it is amongst the base highest modifiers you can find on Versa skills. I'm not sure if we have anything higher, but still, the brand damage itself cannot make up for the lack of a good kit. So, that said, how are her damage numbers looking compared to other water characters with less investment than my Doro, which I should reset at some point, but I like my girl, so what can I say? So if we come here on Harvester, as you can see, a 3-minute fight versus a 2.34 because we were able to fully clear here, while in here we just ran out of time and Snow White died at the end. Helm was doing 1.2, Snow White was doing 2.5, Dorothy, as the main CDR character, was doing 700 million damage, which is less, or almost the same as my Elec, while she has way less investment. Like my Elec is not invested. A purple doll phase 0, no dupes, the overload is level 0, a 777 character, but it just shows the difference between day 1 units and newly released characters that, you know, have proper kits at the end of the day and are way more useful. And she was doing almost the same damage as a Doro. And then we switch into Little Mermaid, and the funny thing is that Little Mermaid does the same damage as Doro. I mean, there is like, what, a 30 million difference? While you are also buffing everyone else because she's buffing all the characters. Like, the impact of having proper rotations and being more often on full burst, right, is such a huge big deal. And that's why when Little Mermaid came out, she was a game changer because of the focus fire and the new standard that she brought into the game with those almost 7-second cooldown reduction. As you can see, there is no difference. Like, why would you be running something that is a clear detriment to the team, making it not even fully clear? Someone dies, you have worse rotations, less uptime on skills. And this even applies to someone like, for example, Solene. Solene is a better B1 not because her kit is good or not because her damage is good, but because she can be slot on so many good teams as an off burst and provide you with good rotations, right? And then we talk about Union Rage, a 3-minute water weak fight. Is the same thing exactly. Okay, this team obviously is not like a comparison 1-to-1 because this was a shotgun team while this was a normal team with Crown, Helm, Snow White, and Doro. And as you can see, even my Drake on a normal shotgun team is doing the same damage as my Dorothy fully invested on elemental advantage. Solene, a character that has no offensive anything on her kit, no skills, no nothing, just cooldown reduction and heals, is doing half the damage that my Dorothy is doing. So sadly, she has not been holding up well. That's why we moved her down on the tier list. And I'm gonna be honest, like, she could almost go into the shift of what is this pretty soon, but she can still be used. Like, let's not say she is absolutely useless, because no, if you invested in her or if you got her and you don't have any other characters, she's still a usable B1. But when compared to the other B1s, there's almost no reason to be bringing Doro into the team, right? You will be better off bringing Mary for the elemental buffs and a Solene for the CDR than just bringing her itself. A pity, because like I said earlier, it's one of my favorite characters. Never resetted her, but here we are. Surely she gets a buff soon, or a character that can act as a treasure, just like Trina and just like Arcana. Enough jumping though, that's basically everything for this video as to why Doro has fallen off from grades and why she sucks nowadays. I'll make a video later talking about the wishlist and an updated priority for what characters I think are important to be put in here based on the state of your account. But that said, that's everything for this one. We're live every single day. Links in the description down below. Good luck with your pool daily rates, and I'll see you on the next one.